Hey, good morning. It's a Saturday morning and it's June 1st, so it's like a new beginning for a lot of people since you're starting off with the first day of Saturday and on the first day of the month. So it is, let me see here. It I got up early this morning and I decided to make some coffee and kind of sit in my room. I did some meditation. I don't think I posted a video, an update yesterday. Or did I? Wait. I did upload a video about the experiment. And I did also upload it on Patreon. I do think it's important for me to mention that I'm still dealing with issues with Patreon. So I've made the decision, to kind of hold off on what's going on with Patreon right now. And try to figure some things out because it's just I'm dealing with a lot of frustration here that I feel as though issues should have been resolved a long time ago. But I think the first intuitive message that I got is that the issue of matchmaking. This matchmaking was created that among these people with a I know that the talk is to not do any matchmaking in the future, and I'm very glad about that. I'm a very complex person, especially after dealing with um, what happened to me growing up, the bullying, and having people taking an interest in me for the wrong reasons. And so I don't think that Libra 14 obviously was not somebody compatible with me. The time that I did spend talking to him on Instagram, I did kind of feel a little bored talking to him. But I kept talking to him. I did keep thinking, well, it's good to have communication because I wasn't really talking to anyone. And I really didn't want to accept the fact that he was a perp. Okay. I always have my suspicions, and they're deep down inside. I always kind of know that they're perps. And then it comes to a point where I have to break it down and say, Maria, you need to step back and you need to start doing some like meditation and tapping into this mindset of this person because you cannot let people use you. Okay. Then I found out that he had his hands in my fucking business when he shouldn't have. And this is what happens. And this is what happens to all my relationships because I have to protect myself. I have dealt with too much trauma to let just people come into my life and just plow it down. And the problem with it is that, when I'm thinking about matchmaking, people tend to base it on superficial things. Okay, a lot of people knew that I was a fan of this person when I was growing up. Okay, which I was a fan of a lot of bands in the 1960s. I wasn't even born in the 1960s. Apparently, I was like floating around in the ether or something, waiting for a permanent vessel or something, or enjoying myself until someone called me into my clone body. Okay, but I you know, I think this whole thing and the focus of me getting married was extremely abusive and extremely painful, and it has caused me nothing but problems. Okay, and the person who was abusing me, I'm glad that what happened to him. I'm extremely disturbed most of the time because, like I said, I'm dealing with the after effects of this stupid plan that I didn't respect. Okay, so I'm glad that there won't be any matchmaking anymore. People need to accept me as being single. I'm somebody who no longer feels comfortable around other people. I no longer feel like, I want to make sure that I have a good barrier and distance between my relationships with people. If I want to spend time with them, then we spend time with each other, but there needs to be an understanding. I cannot deal with any more forms of deception. You know what I mean? And the sad part about being a targeted individual is that it invests all of your relationships. Okay, so this is one of the most painful things because I believe personally, if let's just say, for example, I wanted a romantic relationship, I have always believed that in order to have a pure relationship where there is an exchange of trust, okay, and mind you, I do not believe in monogamy, okay, but if people are going to have a go at it, there needs to be trust, okay, and the problem with it is when you are a targeted individual, they have people around you that are meant to destroy trust. They are double agents, is what they are. And it's sad, but it's true. Okay? And some of these people are multiples. I think may have been made to be multiples because that way that they could create people that betray other people and still come off genuine. It's very strange, but I'm right about me being careful about who I get close to. Okay? And quite frankly, when I think about the situation that I'm in, it doesn't make me happy at all. I am not happy about being in this situation. Also, I do know that, because before, I had posed the question before, like, as being in a targeted individual, and if the system did work where you had people in elite positions, or just any position at all, it could just even be a parent or something, who is assigned to give you a job. Now, I did some meditation and I've done some reading, right? Because I wanted to investigate this, right? Like, I wanted to investigate because I do not want to go on speculation, okay? But I do know that a lot of people that I've known, because they were associated with this particular group, tend to normalize the idea of human trafficking, like people choosing your jobs, like it's an okay thing to do. And I understand that I have a pretty good knowledge of how employment law works, and then when it comes to employment law, it is in my favor. Okay, and the reason why it's in my favor is because the employment market is supposed to be open. Okay, mind you, you could take in consideration of these sort of networks that do arrange your jobs, as long as they're not hiring you based on these sort of like ridiculous stipulations. So yes, there are people who do find their jobs. And the reason why I'm asking is because if the system was designed where everybody was under this sort of system, this is a very big problem for our country. Okay, a very big problem. You know what I mean? That means that we are basically in some sort of other form of government system. I believe, is it totalitarian? Is it totalitarian? I can't pronounce it. Society or something like that. So it's important for me to understand exactly what's going on. Okay, so I'm one of those people that would be definitely confirmed as a targeted individual, because if it was the case where this was normalized across the board, you could say that I'm a targeted individual in the sense that I was dealing with the harassment and being targeted and singled out, but it would be normal for everybody to have their job arranged or whatever. I found it startling when I found out that I was like in this program, that I was being misjudged on me being able to have a job for myself. I had no idea I had to sit here and answer or explain myself or my history or the things that happened to me in my past to these people who are arranging my job, because I simply didn't realize that this is how this sort of operation works. I didn't realize I was a targeted individual. Okay, I just thought, like in the past, I thought, okay, here's a job advertisement. I'm going to go ahead and apply for it, right? So I didn't know, what I mean, that this was this particular thing, and all of this stuff was arranged. Whatever the case is, obviously, it has destroyed my happiness. Like, it literally puts me in this state of mind where I just feel like I hate it. I hate knowing that somebody was doing this to me throughout my entire life, that I had jobs that I was set up, I had people as setups. All of it makes me sick to my stomach. I'm not comfortable with it. Okay? And it's something that is a dark cloud that hangs over my head every fucking goddamn day, from the minute that I wake up to the time that I go to bed. Okay? So anyway, that was one thought. Anyway, I do have a message now that apparently I don't believe that anyone is currently plotting against me, but I do believe that people are talking about me, as they do every Saturday morning, right? It starts off with people talking about me on social media and stuff like that in their little private chat rooms, okay? But I understand that, and I do understand that people talk about me a lot on YouTube, okay? And it's been a while since I've actually watched any of those YouTube videos, but yesterday I was just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and check them out. Okay, I only watched one, mind you, because there are certain things that go on that, like, I didn't want to have to know that Libra 14 was another perp. Okay? So I choose to ignore a lot of things because I'm not ready to deal with another fucking perp. I'm not ready to deal with another form of shock, because it shocks my system every time I find out that certain people are either using, what do you call it, third parties to get close to me that I'm not comfortable with. Okay, I don't like the infiltration. I am not comfortable with some of the people that take an interest in me. Okay, and so I would prefer that stuff, that feeling, that demon, I'm going to say, that energy. It's just, I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, and I'm glad that people aren't plotting against me. However, I'm still dealing with issues relating to getting money, making money, and I need to make money. Okay, so there's always this slow stagnation that goes on as a residual effect of what stupid Libra 14 did. Okay, and with the help of Capricorn 9. Okay, that I'm suffering for. Okay, so thank you for not plotting. I do get to feeling that there's certain people who are planning certain things for me. And they think it's going to be happy for me. Well, here's the thing. We obviously are on two different uh, mindsets, okay? And it's sad because, I feel as though these people who are involved in my life, I'm going to tell you, it's not welcomed. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. I understand there's infiltration. You sit here and you're involved in my stuff. Well, continue to plan your stuff, whatever. But I can't deal with the stimulation of these people or the knowing of the existence of these people. It literally shatters my mind. Okay, it's the whole Nazi thing. It's the whole deceptive thing. It's the whole me taking everything out of my life, meaning like, even the sacredness of having a decent family is what these people do. Okay, the infiltration to me is just absolutely disgusting. Okay, and it's wrong, and it causes mental problems that I can't even begin to explain. Okay, so whatever, I don't know about that. All I know is that I have no intentions of sitting here posting any fucking videos on Patreon until this issue clears up. Because what I'm doing is I'm running and spinning my wheels, and I'm posting my asset on a website where that is my only asset. Okay, where I get to have these elite people sit here and view my stuff, and I'm sitting here like with nothing. Okay, I can't tell you the level of exploitation that goes on when it comes to dealing with these people. Okay, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I do know that there's a lot of people that even feel as though I'm being rude by coming out and saying what I feel about who these people are. And the thing is that, I consider myself to be a very polite person, okay? But I'm thinking about the injustice that I've received. Like I said, not even just in this life, but in the past life. And I could mention them all, but I'm sure these people are far aware of it. And the fact that they are aware of each and every injustice that I had to endure, um, it just makes it seem even more monstrous to me. I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? And I know that the level, I look at it as a level of cruelty that was enacted on me. And like I said, yesterday I was really triggered when I logged online. I get very triggered all the time because Libra 14 to me was an evil person. Okay, he wanted me to be just the fact that he did what he did. Okay, and the fact that people were trying to force me into some sort of relationship, and the fact that I didn't, every interaction or anything that relates to these people always feel has some sort of disgusting racial undertone to it. Okay, now I know these people find this very hard to believe, but I don't look at myself as a black person, and I don't sit here and analyze people as white people. I literally just look at people as people, and I look at myself as a person. Do I understand that I'm black? Obviously, I understand that I'm black because you know what? I'm black because these people have attacked me racially, okay, and have basically tried to force me into situations that I feel are completely unbearable because of my race. I've been racially targeted. So, anyway, the next message I got is that I know that there's certain celebrities that are waiting to be friends and like hang out with me. I realize like I because of this issue of my holdup on my money, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. And this is how it is with me. And I've always been this way. When I was younger, there were times where I would work jobs. And of course, as a teenager, I would say like a mid-teenager, because you're getting close to your 20s. If I wasn't working, because I was getting mobbed out of jobs even then. Okay. But seeing as how I didn't have the responsibility of raising a child at that time, it didn't really matter to me because the only thing that I was really paying for was either like my car insurance or maybe paying for clothes or little decorations for my room or whatever. I didn't have any real responsibility, right? So if I lost a job, it was like, okay, but I will tell you, I had a history of losing jobs when I was working in the Antelope Valley. I would start a job and I would lose it. And I used to feel like I was kind of embarrassed about it. Like I kept thinking, why is it that I constantly lose all these jobs? Why is it that people are constantly picking me on me all the time, right? I couldn't understand it, right? It makes sense now. It makes sense now. And like I may just make this video. It's called Flipping the Nazi Experiment, Conclusions and whatever. This video is almost 4 hours long. Okay, it's a very, very long video. I posted it on Patreon and then I decided to post it on YouTube. And the reason why I posted it on YouTube is because I wanted, I wanted people to get like a sneak peek of me, of who I am, because on my Patreon channel, I just jumped right into talking about like spells and stuff like that. Okay, and I do know that most people do know who I am, but I wanted people to get familiar with my story, mainly because the purpose of the Swan Song Manifesto is to talk about me, my life journey. Okay, and when I really think about it, there's a lot of things, you can only summarize so much, okay, of your lifespan in a little, like, kind of like a biography or and whatever. I was doing the best, autobiography or whatever. I was doing the best I could, right? Based on time limits too, because I was getting closer to my deadline of when I know that I should be posting. Okay, now mind you, the way my Patreon account is set up right now, it's almost as if it's trying to act as if nobody's looking at my page. They have everything in a situation where it's like very confusing. But I have noticed slight changes every time I go onto my account. Okay, and the thing is that when it comes to me dealing with the whole issue of me not having money to communicate and make deals with people, I don't really feel like, until I do that, I really don't feel as though I want to communicate with anyone. That's just how I've always been. And when I was younger, working jobs, like I said, if I wasn't working, you notice I didn't really socialize very much. That's just how I am, okay? Because I find it very demoralizing for me to sit here and make conversation with people. And if you get to know people, you want to make plans with people. You can't make plans with people if you don't have money. You can't do things without money. It is just the way it is. So I deal with people in this network that expect me to do things or want me to do things that I can't do, that because I'm on my own rhythm, and I've always been on my own rhythm, and my rhythm works for me. It works for me. I never meant or wanted to be sucked up in some sort of I don't know network. You know what I mean? To where I understand that Capricorn 9 played a pretty big role in a lot of the things that happened, and I know that she does a lot of things behind the scenes, and I ended up suffering for it. Okay, and I end up suffering for things that the mistakes that she makes. Well, I don't want to suffer for the things that you make, the mistakes that you make. Okay, I think that by working behind the scenes and talking to people like my brothers and sisters and other people that I know is a big mistake. We are all adults. We are all individuals, and when it comes to you manipulating people into being a part of my life, such as, I don't know if it was you, but I get the feeling that it was you. Bringing my biological mother into the issue and all this other stuff. It's like the exploitation. You do a lot of things that are extremely insensitive and thoughtless. That's what you do, okay? And then you try to, and then I'm the one who suffers for it. And I'm tired of it, okay? So anyway, yeah, I do want to meet celebrities, I do. But, the thing is, it's I respect people's professions. I respect their time. I respect the name that they made for themselves. And until I can offer them something, I really don't feel like I should be talking to anybody. That's just me, okay? So I don't really know what to do with myself. I don't know how to spend my time or direct my energy at this moment. The reason why is because, as you know, as a targeted individual, your life just stops. I no longer trust anybody. The only person that they had that was calling me recently was the kid that I used to know from when I was younger. Okay, he is a full-blown perp. Okay, and I find his ass fucking offensive now. And unfortunately, this is how it's set up. This dude was a total informant. I hope you guys do check out that movie, that little autobiography that I made. And, you'll see the timelines of my life. And specifically the people that knew me when I was growing up. You'll be like, okay. Now, I can't go into every single last event of my life. That's impossible to do on a 4-hour, review of yourself. But, when you think about, I was thinking about the rumor that was created to create the propaganda, to create the hate campaign, the shooting in the back, and I refer to it as shooting in the back. These are the people who shot me in the back, who come into my life and then orchestrate things behind the scenes in this current life. How do you think I'm supposed to feel? You know what I mean? I don't think that they have the ability to think too deeply about, the, what do you call it, the cause and effect of things, you know what I mean? I think most people know that I'm not comfortable with that sort of association. I did get some intuitive messages. Now, this method, I have intuitive messages all the time, okay? And because I felt like I really don't have anything to really focus on, mainly because the thing that I mainly focus on is to try to get myself out of this financial nightmare that I'm in, okay? The nightmare that I didn't create. Now, some people can say, "Oh, Maria, you didn't have a bachelor's degree, blah 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 blah." Okay, when you follow this story of what went on in my grade school, you understand what happened. Okay, and a lot of people don't have like the bachelor's degree, and I understand that people think that they can discredit people because they don't have one. And I know that they place a lot of value on the institutionalized of learning. My problem with it is that there's no proof that these people that people are smarter because of it. Okay, anybody can acquire knowledge anywhere, and like I said, you can obtain the knowledge, you can retain the knowledge, obtain it, retain it, but the output must be seen. And unfortunately, in most people's cases, even these people who have like master's degrees, that's not seen, like, obviously. And a few individuals I have seen it, but in the majority case, I would say that's not true. Now, there's always going to be some sort of like discrediting campaign, mainly because I'm a black woman and white. So there are white people who just really wanted to pile up on me, obviously for no apparent reason other than for racial reasons. Okay, so these people fueled this Nazi propaganda to where it made into a situation where I was not meant to quote unquote win the competition that I never wanted to be in. Okay, I would never ask for to be in a situation like this. I would never dream of it, ever. I did make a mention in the video about how I do believe this group of people believe in, if you can make someone jealous, then this makes you the winner. Okay, I will tell you that invoking jealousy in others. Here's the thing. Okay, if you're rich enough to buy your dream house, okay, of course, it's your birthright, meaning it's your birthright to have that desire to have that house. So you buy that house. Then you add on a pool, okay? You add on a pool, and of course you have your other adornments, like, you decide to, add shutters to your wall, your windows, and you get like, stained glass. That's what I would do. I'd get some stained glass windows, and some, what do you call it, windows on the roof, because I like a lot of sunlight, all right? There's going to be people who might be jealous of that, okay? And, some people are going to sit here and try to, take that away from you, or badger you, or try to bully you, by maybe defacing your property by maybe putting graffiti on it, or subtle things like, you ever walk outside and by your house, maybe like on your driveway, you might find some litter. Okay, and you live in a somewhat decent neighborhood, so like, who the fuck would come and just like thoughtlessly throw shit on your fucking yard? I will tell you, a lot of people do things deliberately because it's a subtle form of jealousy. They just suddenly decide to litter in front of your house because some people disrespect you. You know what I mean? And this is something that that my perps have done over and over and over again. They have literally have dehumanized me to the point of where they think that they can just ruin my life and think that it's okay. Okay, it's very strange. What else did I want to say? Before I go into these readings. Okay, now how I use this technique of doing these celebrity readings, there's different ways, okay? Sometimes I wake up with a vision of the white room. The white room is a vision of everybody being clustered into a room that is white, meaning like the floors are white, the ceiling's white, the walls are white. There doesn't seem to be any doors or windows, but everything is white. Like the whole thing is white. Okay, and then there's a bunch of people. Okay, and I've had this vision before, but sometimes as a vision or like the little camera of my mind starts shifting around, and certain people's faces start popping up, like they're talking to me. Okay, and then there's sometimes where I deliberately think, okay, I'm bored because I have nothing to do. Okay, I'm going to go do a celebrity reading. So then I have like different papers in a bag, and then I just kind of pick them up randomly. Okay, and I have quite a lot of papers in the bag. A lot of the people, the celebrities that I had mentioned, which at first I did a lot of celebrity shout outs last fall. Well, not a lot of them, but I did quite a few, okay? I have like 3 pages filled of like people that I did celebrity shout outs with. So everybody I did a celebrity shout out to, I put them in that bag, okay? A slip of paper with that bag on it. But, I keep picking up certain people. Like almost some people I keep picking up over and over and over again. So I keep thinking, what about these other people in the bag? So, there's reasons why we pick up what we pick up. So it is what it is. All right. And I would like to say this does limit my ability to have flexibility in my schedule, which is something that really I'm tired of fucking feeling like I'm being boxed in all the time. I will tell you what the last time they boxed me in was in 2020, I think it was 2000. Yeah, it must have been 2020 because it was right after I left the Button Willow job. Right, I went. I wasn't working. I was terrified, right? Because I felt like, this dude I was getting paid under the table, and this malicious dude, which now I understand, dude, he's a total cluckster. He was willing to let me go homeless, okay? This is part of the plan of killing people, okay? Because they're like full-blown Nazis. We all know that they are. So anyway, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? So, I moved in with my son at that time, and I was getting very discouraged and terrified because these people are so evil. They will sit there and like create like job interviews, knowing good and well they're not going to hire you to make you into some sort of public spectacle. Okay? And I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the bullshit. Okay? I have a life to live like everyone else, and I'm terrified because of the long drawn out issue that these people made by following me from employer to employer to employer, and they should have dropped the shit a long time ago. Okay, it was a lawsuit over there at fucking Murray Family Farms place. Now it's just getting fucking goddamn ridiculous. Okay, and I wasn't comfortable with it. And if somebody would have told me, like, before, like let's say, for example, I came home after a job interview, and those things used to really disturb me, going to those job interviews, because I knew I was being exploited in some way. And I knew that it was abusive, and I knew I wasn't comfortable with it. So I'd come home, and let's just say I came home, and somebody would say, oh, you know what? That job interview we went to, guess who arranged it? Libra 14 arranged it. That would not have made me change my mind on how it made me feel and the feeling that I felt the injustice. Okay? I would feel like, what the hell do you think you're doing something like that to a human being? It is unacceptable to me. Now, so now that I have all this free time, all I do is think about negative shit, and it takes away my activity. And when I was when in 2020, when I was dealing with this, I was at the low point right there. You know what I mean? I really, this to me, this whole association thing is just not something I dig on. Okay. Now I get the intuitive message right now that a lot of my naysayers, and there was a lot of naysayers. I'm going to tell you what. When this thing first happened over at Murray Family Farms, okay, the hatred that I received from these people, okay, was just absolutely ridiculous, okay, and there's no excuse for them to fucking feel the way that they felt towards me, because I will tell you what, the people that I used to know back in Lancaster, I haven't had any communication with in the longest time. This is just what I'm saying is how you can easily incite and invoke hatred just by directing that or instructing it towards another person. Okay, so I was dealing with all kinds of shit. Okay, and then if you notice, if you watched my video, I was reviewing my school years as well as my early work years, and of course, like whatever. I noticed a cycle of be her friend, then drop her, be her friend, then drop her. Be her this whole cycle that seems very Joseph Mengele, mind control and the manipulation. So the kind of shit that they want to do for some sort of experiment. Okay, it's quite disgusting. So my time is basically supposed to be devoted towards putting up or creating content. Well, the very thing that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm being stagnated. You know what I mean? It is a nightmare to be associated with this group. It is a nightmare to fucking have to deal. And see, I get the feeling that no one's plotting against me, but I also get the feel this way, is that just like somebody who constantly beats you over and over and over again, or somebody who chains you into a basement, okay, for long periods of time, and you're banging on the wall and you're screaming and you're crying to get out, because this is what isolation does to a person. If you look up the psychological effects of what isolation does to a person, you would understand that this is the kind of mentality that I have now, okay, because it's wrong. Okay, it can make a person feel extremely fearful, bring on feelings of PSD and every other psychological issue. Okay, and the very fact that you used a hate campaign to drive your fucking agenda made it even worse. Okay, and then the fact that you sit here and you pollute people that I care about makes it even more disgusting. Because you know what, you guys are at the end of the day nothing more than Nazis, right? So yeah, I'm not. You don't see me fucking grinning with a smile on my face because of this association. And in fact, I fucking hate it. Now, all right, so I just had to go say that. And I'm very glad that matchmaking will not happen again. I think it's really important for people to understand that I don't want to be involved in a relationship. And I get tired of people like Capricorn 9 thinking, oh, well, because she tries to sit here and put pressure on me to fulfill her desire to tear me down as a human being. With the whole issue of, you need to change your this and you need to change your that. No, I do not. And I'm not going to. Okay, this is my right. And I understand that you played more of a role in this whole fucking minicide bullshit. I would not fucking change my life for Libra 14. That man's disgusting. Okay? And so I can't help, I have every right to feel the way I do. And I know that you feel like a little taken aback and you feel as though I'm a little rude because I'm so direct. But mind you, since you put me in a genocide program, which was meant to destroy me as a person, I don't think I'm being rude at all. I just think I'm basically defending myself properly. So the first intuitive message that I have, this is a repeat, dude. Like, he's always coming up. I have Virgo 31. Now, when I'm going to get this very clear, and I've said this before, okay? I have noticed that if you pay attention to somebody or you say that you like somebody, they'll sit there and think that you are interested in them in a romantic way, okay? Or they'll assume things. There is nothing between me and Virgo 31, okay? Other than he was one of my favorite artists when I was growing up, okay? And I would say even in my adult years, because his music helped get me through a lot of, negative times, okay? And that's what my issue is. I have mentioned people that I enjoyed listening to that were female as well as male, okay? So you have to be very careful with this group because this group that like matchmade me made me live through a nightmare. I do get the feeling, like I said, that there's not going to be any more matchmaking. This is not it. And when I'm talking to Virgo 31, I'm sure he understands that I'm talking to him through sentimentality. Like, I feel a sentimental attachment to him because he represents a part of my life, okay? And not everything has to be romantic, and it doesn't have to be sexual, all right? So the first one is, I do believe that you saw the same Expedite video and you liked it. I'm glad. I'm glad you're watching and you're checking out my videos, okay? At the courtesy of Capricorn 9, I'm sure. And I'm sure, Libra 14 was more than willing and accommodating to invite other people onto this bandwagon, right? It's offensive, but, I understand to a certain degree. My concern right now is that I'm being exploited, okay? Because I need to get paid for what I do. Okay, and it makes sense that I should. I do understand that Capricorn 9 is trying to use the Patreon as some form of control with me. I don't appreciate it, okay? I have the right to make a living. I understand that you like to use your position of power to hurt me, to try to, exert your power over me, and, even in a way bully me, okay? I do understand what is going on. I'm aware of it, okay? I do understand that Virgo 14 is witnessing that no one really knows the system or history of this country and possibly the country of the UK, which you reside in. Even though you're not in England, you're in Ireland, and I do believe that you are umbrellaed by the same system of government, if I remember correctly, because I don't really study that stuff anymore, okay? I know a little bit about these political systems, but I believe that you do, okay? You're right, they don't, okay? And because of this is why I'm in the situation that I'm in, okay? It's a nightmare. And I think I got the message about the flipping the experiment. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but I do. The reason why this message came up is because you may not have watched it. You may or not have. But this is the result of why I'm in this situation, is because of the experiment. And because of that experiment, the propaganda was to make it so that everyone would think negatively of me. When I left Murray Family Farms, that was like somebody, I could feel the negativity. It was almost as if Klansmen might as well have just like burned a cross on my yard. It was the equivalent of that, and it was unnecessary. Okay, all because of some bullshit that I don't even like. Whatever. Okay, I understand that people, this whole issue about the white race and being in competition, I would like to be the last. This is like the last time I really want to talk about it, because when I think about how disgusting it is and the darkness that it has painted over people that really shouldn't even have any sort, they shouldn't be supporting you at all. You know what I mean? Recognizing the fact that they are basically being pawns and puppets in your little racist game, and yet they're active participants. And the way that you get this is because you grant favors to the people who participate in your genocide program. Actually, I wasn't talking to you that way, Virgo 31. I was actually addressing the group of people who were basically initiating the abuse on me. Now, when it comes to the whole issue of Patreon, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be posting my videos at least until the second half of June on Patreon. I don't know. I need to start making some decisions for myself. What am I going to do? Right now, I need to make money. And see, I'm dealing with a bunch of narcissistic people who feel like, who want to determine, just this is a typical racist attitude, who want to determine when they think I need money. Okay? They think, well, we'll tell her when, everything that, it's like a constant entanglement of this sort of abuse that I'm dealing with, okay? The thing is, of course I need money. Okay, you can't sit here and worry about depleting the little resources that you have. You have to be able to protect yourself, and they don't give you that. And this could be the reason why, one of the tactics that Capricorn 9 likes to use in order to keep people under control. The problem with it is that she comes from a background that only knows how to use manipulation when it comes to negotiating. She does not know how to do things properly. And that's a problem. And unfortunately, I'm the one who feels this way. I mean, I'm the one who suffers for this. And I know that she has a very big ego and she likes herself a lot, as she should. Okay, I think that's wonderful. Having a good sense of self is nice. But do I think some of it is a little bit ridiculous to the point of where you feel like you squash people and everybody's going to be accommodating and understanding to the offenses that you do to people? Okay, this issue has gone on for over a decade. Okay, now I'm trying to remember if like Libra 14, because I pieced this together many times, and then I'm like, as I'm thinking and not looking at the piece of paper that I wrote it down with, I have to sit here and scramble. Okay, I do remember the issues that went on over at Murray Family Farms, and I'm thinking, okay, it had to have been him. Okay, because I know that he was working alongside the biracial girl, and that girl was acting like fucking crazy. And it could have also been the fact that Capricorn 9 was trying to make me, because I mentioned in my video that jealousy, trying to invoke jealousy in people, is something that they try to do. They want to test you. They want you to be jealous, okay? Because they feel a sense of jealousy. I'm going to tell you what. I will tell you what it's like when people are jealous of you. When people are jealous of you, it can get to the point where it's just pathological. And going back to the example of a person who has a right to have a beautiful home and have it adorned and everything, that's wonderful, and they have the right to. That is not them bragging or showing off. They are simply trying to create a surrounding that's going to be nurturing and vibe with them. You know what I mean? That they feel comfortable in or whatever. And the same thing goes for people such as myself who take care of myself. I know that Capricorn 9 is doing everything she can to destroy me as a person. Okay? And I don't appreciate it. I do not appreciate it. I do believe that a person who, the outward appearance of a person is very important. And it's important for their spirituality, mind, body, and spirit. Okay? And for whatever reason, I don't know if she feels as though she needs something to prove or it's a matter of white supremacy, but I'm tired of your death threats, because that's exactly what it means to me. The next one is that the message I get from Virgo 31 is that everybody knows not to ask me for favors. And I'm going to reiterate this, okay? It's not that I don't want to help people, because, like, you know, the purpose of me, well, not the main purpose, because obviously the main purpose of the Swan Song Manifesto is to talk about my life and leave some message or something left of myself when I leave this earth. Okay, that is extremely important to me. So it's kind of like my diary, my journal, my whatever, my travels, whatever. But, and I do want to include celebrities into, you know, some of these things, like, you know, like the food magic, or like, you know, maybe have a sing along or something like that. And then I was thinking about like little skits and shorts, and maybe like a even a small series if that was possible. Okay. So it's not that. It's that I'm looking back on the people in my life, okay? No one has any right to ask me for anything, okay? I'm talking about my ex-family members, okay, that I have nothing to do with. I am over the age of 18, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, since I was set up in a fake family and they were that weak enough to get sucked up into that mind control, these people need to stay the fuck away from me for good reason. Now, I do get the feeling that my sister Lisa does feel a little bit of remorse about what happened, okay? But the thing is that you got to understand the level of mind control is going to be very deep, and I can't deal with that. Okay, and seeing people from my past is going to cause extreme fucking trauma. Okay, and this is what I deal with, this narcissistic group of people who, because this is how I look at it. This is a Nazi program. Okay, the reason why people were willing to fucking have me killed off when I was leaving Murray Family Farms is because this black girl, you know, was basically being herself, and these people couldn't stand it. So my family jumped on the bandwagon, and all this other shit, and it's been going on for a long, long time. Okay, so you understand that kind of mind control is very traumatizing to me. Okay, so my sister Lisa, in fact, is actually my great granddaughter, okay? But whatever the case is, I don't have the same bond with her. I don't look at her the same anymore, okay? Because it was all a setup. All right, so I wouldn't, for them to ask me for something, and I can remember times where they had every right to defend me and they wouldn't. I remember there were times where people would talk shit about my sister and I was the first person to defend her. Okay, I was always the other, the controversial one, and I brought up in the video about how my sister used to, you know, stick up for homosexuals. She had and I'm not even a homosexual, okay, but I'm not a homosexual, but she, you know, stood up for homosexuals. She even had a friend that was hermaphrodite. But when it came to me, because these people created a rumor about me coming back, or me being a spirit that came back as in another sex, somehow that's not different. How is that different? So these people are born homosexual, or a deviant of somehow. How is that different? It's not different. Okay, because the level of mind control is so thick. Okay, I can't understand how somebody could even believe or even be a part of something like that. Now, I can understand white people getting involved in it because people tend to gravitate towards groups and ideologies that make them feel good about themselves, right? Even if it's over exaggerated, they tend to like that. Okay, hey, it makes you feel special, makes you feel the best, or whatever. But when it comes to like the minorities that got involved in this, they use things like religion, and then I think Kate Middleton was trying to pick apart my physical appearance, possibly even contrasting it against my family's, or basically saying that I was a male in the previous life, or trying to make it so that set it up like and put pressure on me to perform a lifestyle change for her own fucking benefit, possibly. Well, I'm going to tell you what, Kate, I'm not doing it. So everyone knows not to ask me for shit. You know, I think I've had enough. When I put the whole total together of the abuse that C.B. Berganza went through, that's 134 years of abuse. Okay? From the time that he killed himself into the time that I came back and the time that I started getting targeted at 6 years old, that is a very, very long time. So the next message that I have is for, and I honestly will tell you that I feel as though my life is extremely surreal because the whole cloning thing and people taking it, you know, taking liberty over my life and you know, being associated with people that I never even imagined. You know, and it's not that I'm coming off as ungrateful. It's the fact that I don't believe that people like, you know, Gemini 14, I think that's the number. Gemini 14, Scorpio 20. These people do not know how to handle me. Because when you're extremely racist, you think certain things is fine, okay, and it's not. It actually triggers more resentment. Okay, and the things that you do really piss me off. You know what I mean? And I'm just being honest, okay? Because you have what if you were in my situation, tell me how you feel. If you could just feel empathy for just 1 second. Okay, maybe you can't feel empathy. That's my biggest issue with you people. Is because I've been told things or read things about you guys that prove that say that you don't, okay? And then when I'm dealing with this situation, it's almost like a confirmation that you can't. But I'm going to ask yourself, would you like it if somebody did this to you? Okay, so the next person that I have a reading for, and by the way, thank you, Virgo31, for letting me ramble on. I kind of veered off a little bit. It was kind of related to the same subject, but I'm known for doing that. So for Aquarius 29, you're another person. I think this is the second time I'm picking up on you. You think that I make people reflect on their actions, okay? And I don't do this on purpose, but in a way I kind of do. And the reason why I do is because I am frustrated about being in this situation that I feel I've been sucked into. And like I said, it's been like a decade since I've been like struggling and feeling like there's a dark energy around me, and I just want to get the hell away from it. It's a dark thing that it is dark to me. Okay? I'm only going to see it as a dark thing. I'm never going to be happy and feel like I'm welcoming this with open arms. I am not happy with it. Okay? It never feels good. It is never warm. It's never positive feeling. It's always a dark feeling. Okay? When it comes to this association and having to deal with all the things that I missed out on as a human being, the time that these people sucked up, and the very slow pace that they take, the obvious, disregard for how I am as a person or who I am as a person, and them taking their sweet little time to do things. You know what I mean? It's like and especially when you think of the fact that I was kidnapped. How much more can a person take from you? And the fact that Capricorn 9 wanted to tear my character down just for her own fucking pleasure after the inhumane fucking treatment that I had to deal with when I came over here to this country, thinking that it was a free country, which it was a free country, and it is a free country, but right now we are flipped up in some sort of oxymoron weird shit that I don't quite understand. Okay? That is wrong. But anyway, so when I try to make people reflect on it, I'm basically trying to bring people's attention to how is it that you can sit here and like jump onto me and act as if I did something to offend you or treat me in this sort of manner when I don't even fucking know. I just recently found out. You know what I mean? And I'm also trying to bring out open people's mind to the fact that the massive brainwashing that went on. And like for the longest time, I was the only person who had any sort of fucking sense or head on my shoulders to try to figure myself out of this labyrinth of fucking entanglements of lies and bullshit that they tell us. It's bullshit. Anyway, I know a lot of people are talking about me right now, and a lot of people are talking about me, I guess maybe like being successful in this little debate, and I don't want to be in a debate. Okay, but you know what I want to do? I want to move on and never have to think about this anymore. And it's the slow movement, the slow everything. Everything is slow, and I want it fast. Okay, like I literally want to get away from everything that fucking disturbs me. It's too much. Okay, it's like it's disturbing to me. Okay, and I think you know why. Okay, as an African American person, I think you could at least kind of see what I'm talking about, especially since it tainted the view of other people, and this was initiated by Nazis, and the behavior of the people who I encountered made me realize it was Nazi. It sent shivers down my spine. Okay, very negative. So people are talking about me right now, and I know it. I can feel it. I also saw one video. I only watched one video on YouTube last night about people talking about me, and even referring to me as royalty and everything. So I understand that people are talking about me, okay? And I also understand that what a big issue this was. You know what I mean? And why I call it shooting in the back is that, obviously as part of the experiment, this was a part of their exploitation. And everything that these people have done has been cruel, inhumane, and completely disrespectful. And they did it out in public sector, and it's like you can't deny that you did it, right? I know that a lot of people talk about me dating in the future. And the thing is, like, that this goes into the same category of me not really feeling like I want to be around people. Okay? at this moment, I don't know anybody. Like, you know, I might talk to somebody, I might see someone at the store or like something like that, but I don't know anybody to where like I'm constantly in communication with them or having any idea of seeing anybody or anything like that. And the sad part is that, you know, when it comes to my social interactions, I don't ever want that sort of energy in my home ever again. And I don't want somebody being a carrier of that sort of dark energy, because it is dark. Because what Capricorn 9 does is and her group of people, or Libra 14, would do is have people come in and spy on me for the Menacide program. Okay, I don't appreciate it. Okay, and basically a Capricorn 9 has made me try to fight for my life, okay? Because I don't believe life would be worth living if I had to live like her in any way, shape, or form. It's not for me. Stop trying to impose your fucking goals and your lifestyles on me, okay? And I don't want to be associated with anything that's related to politics, you know what I mean? Or religion. You know what I mean? And they feel like, oh, I want to use her resources, or I want to like hone in on it. It's like, it's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. You know, my belief system is so outside of the box, it doesn't fit in with that. So it's like, and I believe that my views are very special. So the association to me is just like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway.